Welcome back to another class on Evean Hazaer Halacha series. We are continuing in Siman Aleph in Halacha Tet. This will be part 4 of the Shu'ur. B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to try to wrap up this Halacha today with the Cham and the Bash. We are moving to the next phase of the Halacha in Halacha Tet, where the Shulchan Aruch says, "U'b'makom shenahagu shelo lisa ela isha achat," in the place where the custom is to only marry one woman, Eino rashai lisa isha acheret al ishto. You are not permitted to marry another woman on your wife. Comes the Cham and he says, why isn't he allowed to marry another woman on his wife if that is the custom in that place? So he says over here, B'nimuki Yosef, in the Nimuki Yosef, Misayem betamo, he concludes his reasoning to why a guy is not allowed to marry another wife on top of his original existing wife because of the minhag. Because he says, the umduna dimuchu, it's a clear and obvious assumption, the adaita dehachi in a that based off this knowledge, she went ahead and she got married to the husband. The only reason why she married the husband, the Nimuki Yosef is telling you, is because in her mind she understood when she's getting married based off that reasoning that she is going to only be the only one for the husband, and he's not going to go ahead and take another one on top of her. That's what he tells you over here. It's a clear and obvious assumption that when a woman gets married to a guy, she's getting married based off the notion that he's not marrying another woman on top of her. Because had she known, maybe she wouldn't get married. That's what comes in the Muki Yosef, and he says, when we tell you that if the minhag of the place is not to marry another woman on top of your original wife, do you know why you're not allowed to do it? Because when she got married to you, based off that notion that you're not going to go ahead and get married to another woman. Continues in the Muki Yosef, and he says, he becomes like a donkey driver where he's not permitted to make himself like a camel driver. Rabotai, if you look into Masechet Ketubot in Tav Samach Bet Amud Bet, also in the Shulchan Aruch in Siman Reish Mem in Halacha Aleph, over there he speaks about, depending what kind of job you have, that's what's going to be your obligation to your wife, which we call an ona, like we spoke in the previous class. A donkey driver is obligated to please his wife once a week. A camel driver is obligated to please his wife once a month. Comes in the Muki Yosef and he's telling you like this. Just like you can understand that if you have a husband where he is a donkey driver, now all of a sudden he wants to become a camel driver, we're going to tell him you're not allowed to do so. Why? Because now you are taking away the rights from your wife. Because what she used to get was every single week, 4 times a month. Now it's going to end up when you're going to become a camel driver, she's only going to get once a month. That you're not allowed to take away from her. So then you have to still continue being a camel driver and give her what she needs once a week, 4 times a month. But don't become not a camel driver, I apologize. That's what he says, that if the guy is a donkey driver, we're going to tell him stay a donkey driver and be with your wife every single week, once a week, 4 times in a month, and do not become a camel driver, because then you're taking the relationship, meaning the relations right, you're taking away from her. That we're not going to allow you to do. What does this have to do with our case? Because what happened in our case? Our case, we're telling you that he's not allowed to go ahead and take another woman on top of his wife. Why? By having another woman on top of your wife, you're also going to go ahead and you're going to minimize your relation rights to your wife. If before you were with her, let's say, 10 times a month, now because of another woman, you'll be with her 5 times a month. If you were with her 4 times a month, now you're going to be 2 times a month, because you have to also go ahead and make the other woman happy. That's what he tells you over here, that when a woman gets married, she's getting married based off the notion that no other guy, that no other woman is going to enter into her life. She's going to be the only wife to her husband. And that's what the Nimuki Yosef says. It's just like exactly the case with a chamar, with a donkey driver that's not allowed to become a camel driver. Just like you can understand by a donkey driver, he cannot go ahead and minimize the relation rights to his wife, because if he becomes a camel driver, he's minimizing it from 4 to 1. So over here you can understand that if we're going to allow him to go ahead and take another woman, he's going to minimize her relation rights. That's why it comes to the Muki Yosef and he says, wherever you have the minhag, where they don't marry more than one woman, you have to follow that practice and you have to stick to one wife. However, continues the Cham, and the Cham says, based off the Nemuki Yosef's words, because we are afraid that he's going to take away from her relation rights, says no problem. Umimele, it comes out, the birishut ishto mutar, but with the permission, since it's really based off on her, like we saw in the previous classes, since it's really based off the wife, even in the minhag, even in the place where the custom is to only marry one woman, and like we said before, it's because she only wanted to be the only one and she doesn't want her relation rights to be diminished, fine. But what happens if she says, I have no problem with it? Go ahead, marry another woman. Can he marry another woman even in the place where the minhag is to only marry one wife? Absolutely, he's allowed to go ahead and marry another woman, of course with her permission. That's what he says over here, umimela, and it comes out, the birishut ishto mutar. With the permission of his wife, he's going to go ahead and allow to get married to another woman. Siman Ein Vav, Sivchet, like it's brought down later on in Shulchan Aruch, in Siman 76, Halacha number 8. That was the Cham. Comes the Bash. The Bash says, Ubimakum shenahagu, we said on top, in a place where they had the minhag not to marry more than one wife, you cannot marry more than one wife. Comes the Bash and he says, Afilu below cherem Rabbeinu Gershom, even without the cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom. We'll see this in the following class in Halacha Yud. Rabbeinu Gershom made a cherem. He made a form of excommunication on a guy who's going to go ahead and marry more than one woman. Even though we'll see in the Shulchan Aruch, we, the Sephardim, don't follow it. We'll see about that. There's many opinions to it. I'm not going to get to that now. That's in Halacha number 10. That's in the following class. We're finishing this Halacha today, but another will begin this in the following class. So comes the Bash and he says, Afilu below chen Rabbeinu Gershom, even without the excommunication of what Rabbeinu Gershom placed on the man, still you have to go ahead and follow this rule of the custom. Why? Kevin shenahagu, since they already behaved this way to only marry one woman, have ki'ilu chitnuken. It's as if they stipulated so like that. That when I'm getting married to you, I'm getting married only on condition to be married to you and nobody else. Continues the Bash and he says, Ela rather, Mahmat Aminhag Mehani Ritzui Shala. Listen to carefully. But since this is only a minhag, and because of the custom, her appeasement helps. Meaning, if she wants you to go ahead and get married, that helps against the minhag. She can tell you, I want you to get married with another woman on top of me, not a problem. Even though it's going against the minhag. That's what he says. Ela machmat minhag mehani ritzu shalom. However, because of the minhag, we're going to tell you that her wanting to go ahead and allow you to get married to another woman, it actually helps. Aval, however, mishum cherem Rabbeinu Gershom, but because of the cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom, lo mehani ritzu shalom, her wanting you to get married to somebody else, it's not going to help. He brings this down in the name of the Darkei Moshe. Now, Rabotai, I want to just put it like this. Comes the Bash makes 3 points in his small interpretation of the Halakha in the Shulchan Aruch. Number 1, this minhag applies even though there's no cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom. Why? Because when you guys got married, it's as if you stipulated so that we're getting married based on the condition like the Cham said, that you're not getting married to more than one woman but me. Number 2, since it's only a minhag, if she wants him to get married, he's allowed to go ahead and get married. Her wanting him to get married will override the custom of the place where they only marry one woman. 3, But if it's because of Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom, we'll see in certain places they accepted the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom, in certain places they did not accept it. If in the place where they accepted the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom not to marry more than one wife, over there, even if the wife is going to want him to go ahead and get married, her wanting him to go ahead and get married will not help. So we see about that over here today. From the Shulchan Aruch we understand, very simple. If the place where you live, everybody gets married to only one wife, you're not allowed to take another wife on top of your original existing wife. Came the Cham and the Bash, they both said, fine. That's because when you got married, meaning when she got married to you, she got married based off that notion that she's going to be your only one. But when it comes to marrying a second wife, even in the minhag, even in a custom, in a place where they don't allow you to marry a second wife, since it's only a custom, if she tells you it's okay, go ahead, get married to somebody else, I'm fine with it, we're going to allow you to go ahead and get married to another woman. However, if it's because of Rabbeinu Gershom, because of Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom, you're not allowed to go ahead and get married because they accepted it upon themselves in that place that they don't marry to women because of the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom. Over there, we're going to tell you, even if she's going to allow you to go and get married to another woman, we're not going to allow you to go get married to another woman. Rabotai, with this we do conclude Halacha number 9. Have a great day. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen ve'amen.